up, everybody? Welcome to it's a very exciting edition of the Ysn Power Hour because, ladies and gentlemen, football is here. Fall sports have arrived, and they are not even at the doorstep. They are wiping their shoes off, taking them off, getting their socks comfortable in your favorite chair. Ladies and gentlemen, YSN is again your home for all things sports, and it all kicks off tonight here on a Thursday. And I think we've talked about this. I think this is going to be the future of what we're looking at: Thursday games, Friday games, and even Saturday games to begin the year and sprinkled on throughout the year with some of these smaller teams and some of these shared venues. But when you look at Thursday night football, Friday night high school football, I don't know about you, but I get really excited. I mean, I'm nervous all the way up to the day of, and then I wake up and it's like Christmas morning, baby. It is Christmas morning. I know our teams are hip and happening and ready to go. They are excited to bring you everything. We've got player profiles for you today with the Ysn Irish because they're in action tonight. Coach Dan Reardon sits down with Tim Corso as well from the Golden Dawn every Tuesday, and we have them for you today before we even post them on the interwebs. So you'll be able to sit back and enjoy those today. I have a lot of getting work done. There's a lot of yard work to be done before we look and admire the green grass tonight, folks. Ton of games for you. I'm going to run them down a couple times here to start the show before the interviews and then after to make sure that you know exactly what you are in for tonight. I just got to find the tab, so stay with me. Hang with me. All right, so let's start off. We have a ton on the network tonight, folks. Let's start with volleyball. Anthony Hartwig is going to have Austin Town Fitch at Lakeview tonight, 7 p.m. Ty Bartell is going to have Archbishop Hoban against Copley. Copley? I think Copley. That's my bad. There's two O's in there. Eric Hughes is going to do some volleyball as well. He's got Mooney at Cheney tonight. And then we move down. We also, we got girls soccer. We've got boys soccer. Owen Klein, my main man, one of the newest recruits on YSN, has East Liverpool at Beaver Local. The game is going to be on the network tonight. Don't forget about Green at Louisville. Our buddy Rob Johnson over at the Spotlight Media is going to take care of that one. We also have video only for NDCL versus Orange, and we have Salem at Poland or video only. But if you're looking for football tonight, ladies and gentlemen, and I know you are, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 games for you. 6 games for you tonight on YSN. Sit back and just lose yourself in flipping different links. All right, the first one, Crestview at Western Reserve. Chris Colucci and Billy Capabianca are going to have that call. I know they're crazy excited for this game. I think this has the potential. Out of all these games, this has the potential to be the game of the night. The game of the night when you look at all things considered, two teams that are looking to establish themselves early in the MVAC. So don't miss Crestview at Western Reserve tonight. We also have Tim Corso and Osiris Talbot doing Walsh Jesuit at Ursuline. I'm guessing this is going to get the most eyes tonight. That's just a shot in the dark. There's a lot of people trying to figure out what the Ursuline Irish are going to look like. That's the question we get the most. What are the Golden Domers going to look like? And certainly Ursuline, I think, has another chance to go really, really far in the playoffs, but it all kicks off tonight against a very tough, very, very tough challenge in Walsh Jesuit. A lot of the talking heads think Walsh Jesuit's going to walk away with an early season victory. Those are the same ones that said Steubenville was going to walk away with the and walk away with the belt held high. And we all know what happened in that particular matchup last year to start the season. Niles at Howland, Noah Ricks, and DK Kotzal is going to be calling that game tonight. We're excited that the Red Dragons and the Tigers on the network tonight. That one also has some, it's a backyard rivalry. So that you can never get too many of those, especially early on in the season. And I mean, I got the hoodie on today. It's going to be brisk. It's going to be nice. It's going to be beautiful. But if you can't make it out to all these games, and we know you can't, you can only be one place. Make sure that you literally can be everywhere at once on ysnlive.com here tonight. Niles and Howland, all these games look like they're starting at 7. So you're good to go around the horn. We're in JFK at Liberty. Jordan Barber, Anthony Malone, they have this game for you. Two great voices, two guys that know a lot about football. Jordan's brother, the senior on the team, he's excited for Liberty. And I know Anthony Malone, who's walked that path with me with JFK before. This is going to be interesting. Another interesting situation because Liberty's supposed to be on the upswing. I think Coach Simon and that whole staff has their guys ready to play. JFK, there's a lot of doubters this year. And I'm just going to go out on a limb and tell you that JFK is okay with that. JFK is okay with people doubting them because that's when they do their best work. So do not miss that game tonight on the network. Then we've got, we're taking a trip down to the 440. We've got Geneva and Conneaut and Grand Valley. It's going to be Tyler Hartz and the WOW TV team taking this one on. Excited to see that other brand of football up north. So make sure you catch that. And then my buddy Chris Sigler and I, we will have a game we didn't think we would. We're heading to see the Blue Jays of Jackson Milton take on Matthews. We're going to be high atop the press box at the Mustangville, USA, and I'm okay with that because we're going to try some new things tonight. We're going to try some new things. We're probably going to fail miserably, and that's okay too because we're going to take risks here on YSN. But I can tell you that there is excitement building tonight. There is no doubt in my mind. Everybody's ready. Everybody's watching. And just remember, you can get all these games absolutely free. Go out to a stadium tonight. Make sure you take your cell phone. Make sure you take another device. Watch these games and just flip from channel to channel, one to the next, to the next, to the next, to the next. I mean, we're talking about 6 games in football only. You heard, we have girls soccer, we have boys soccer, we have volleyball. You can be everywhere at once. Everywhere at once, all for the lovely cost of $0. Just support our sponsors. That's all we ask. Support our sponsors, support these student athletes, support these coaches, support these communities. Get out there on this beautiful night and make sure you take your cell phone with you or whatever device you use and tune into YSN Live. Be a lightning bug in the stadium. Let everybody know what's going on. The scoreboard will be jamming tonight as well. Steve Leslie is all over that tonight. We're going to be sending him updates. So if you're just in a hurry, just want to see the score, head on over to ysnlive.com/score, and you can see everything in basically real time. So make sure that you do that as well. See if we can catch up on the comments a little bit. You can tell I'm excited. You can tell I'm real jazzed up for tonight. Let's get to the comments. Davey Balstrino said, let's go. Football is back. And then we get a shout to the Howland Tigers from Bernie. Bern, good to see you, man. Hope all is well. Same with you, Davey. Appreciate you, buddy. And I'm excited. I know you guys are all excited for everything that YSN has to offer tonight. Again, there's only one place to be if you want to watch everything. And I know this is a sports crazed town. This is a sports crazed region, area, whatever you want to call it. Ladies and gentlemen, we are absolutely knocking the door down. To watch all of that green on the spreadsheet is to be almost a proud father, a proud papa. And you look at that and you go, okay, this could be special. This could be a very special night. And this is the appetizer, folks. This is the appetizer. Don't fill yourself up because we got more tomorrow and we got more on Saturday. So just get a taste tonight. Take it all in though. Don't leave that appetizer plate with anything on it. Make sure you eat the crumbs too because they're all going to be good. All these games are going to be great here on YSN. We're excited to bring them to you. So sit back, kick those feet up, and get ready for some high school sports at their finest. And I'm telling you, I know I'm a little bit biased, folks. Just a little bit biased here in Stream City. There's no better place to be than on ysnlive.com at come 7 o'clock tonight. I guarantee you that. All right, let's kick it over to Tim Corso and Dan Reardon, the head coach of the Ursuline Irish. Let's hear what he has to say about his upcoming matchup with Walsh Jesuit and, of course, what his team looks like this year. Is there pressure? Are there? I mean, are there expectations? We'll find out. Tim Corso, take it away, buddy.
Welcome in, Ursuline fans, and welcome to the Golden Dawn. We're coming back with 2024 Ursuline Irish football. Tim Corso here, and thanks to the Golden Dawn for sponsoring. Every week we'll be here with the coaches and players from Ursuline to talk about the 2024 season. Coach Reardon with me. Coach, thanks for joining. And we're starting off Thursday, 2 days from now, with the Walsh Jesuit at home, a tough team. And just how was that offseason like going in to this 2024 season? What kind of things did you harp on to get better on for this upcoming season?
Yeah, the big thing I think this offseason was just, we had a sense of disappointment. We had a great season last year. We won our first 13 games, then lost in the regional finals against a very, very good Chardon team. But, it was disappointing anytime you finish a good year with a loss. So our kids, really attacked the weight room, attacked the offseason. I thought they did a good job this year. And, they're anxious to get started and excited to get started. And, it's here. It's game week.
And at the end of a regular season, going into a off season, I'm sure coaches challenge their players to do certain things. And what were some of the things you challenged your players to do from 2023 to 2024?
The big thing is just continually get better. And I think when you look at the loss that we had, why did we lose? Well, we didn't take care of the football. And we were 13-0 in the turnover margin. And then we lost the turnover margin against a very good football team, and you got to take care of the football, against a good football team. So that's a lesson that we talked about, and we really analyzed the film and just looked at the things, not just in the Chardon game, but in all the games. Really just looked at all the things that we need to improve upon, and as good of a season as we had, there's always room to improve.
And tomorrow will be the last practice for the opener on Thursday. And, of course, DC Farrell shifting from receiver to quarterback.
Yep.
And 9 of the 11 defensive starters back. So a very different kind. You have a lot of experience on both sides of the ball, but the defense will be a little more familiar while the offense has to change up a little bit, I'm sure, with DC at quarterback. Schematically, what are some differences and similarities you're going to have this year to last year's team?
Yeah, so if you look at the defense, we do have 9 guys back that started. A couple of those guys played the same position, but we do have a lot of experience back. We graduated 3 starters. Tyreek Dunlow was a fantastic football player for us. One of the top 2 or 3 career tacklers at Ursuline. He holds a single-season tackling record. C.J. Frasco was an all-state football player for us on defense. We graduated Jarrell Galloway. We graduated Javi Edwards, who played a lot of football for us early in the season. So we did lose a lot of good football players on the defensive side, but we have 9 guys back with significant experience and all who started at some point in time. So that's exciting. If you look at our D-line, we return a really good group of D linemen, and they're young. They're still Israel Davis is a junior, A.J. Snyder is a junior, Carter Rudzik is a junior. All those guys started for us last year as sophomores. Rashad Harris is coming in. You're going to see his name a lot. He's a sophomore. And then if you look at the secondary, we return a bunch of guys with experience. And then we also add a really good player in Deshaun Will, who played basketball, and he's coming out for football at Ursuline for the first time. So we're excited about that. The linebacker group, Drake Campbell's doing a great job. Kevin Boudre, John Frangos is our leading tackler returning, and then Vinny Fecco as well. So we're excited about that group. And on the offensive side, about half the starters return roughly. Both of our tackles up front, Bryce Crawford and Phil Bowser. DC is shifting from an all-state receiver to be our quarterback, and that's going to be exciting. Really dynamic athlete with the ball in his hand every single play, which again, get your popcorn ready.
Right.
I mean, he's a fun guy to watch. Feel like we have a lot of receivers that are going to contribute, probably at least 6 guys. I feel like Tyran Davis and Devontae Taylor are the 2 big names returning there, and then you're going to see a lot of other guys. Jack Easley is on, Ray Javey, Amir Brown, Luke Kolar, Deshaun Will again, and I'm probably forgetting somebody, but you get the idea of, we have 5 or 6 guys, and I don't feel like we're going to skip a beat with any of those guys in there.
Right, and of course with the 9 starters and the offense having a lot of guys back, and you've had a couple scrimmages, how has it looked so far going into the first game with the new look on the offense and the experience on defense coming back?
Yeah, so the scrimmages are always a growing process, and I thought that in the first scrimmage we did some positive things, and there was a ton of things that you have to correct, and the kids embrace that, and they're coachable with it. And then the second scrimmage we did show growth, and I thought we moved the ball pretty well. We had a couple ball security issues in the second scrimmage that we need to clean up, but there definitely was growth, and then you hope from the second scrimmage to the first week that you have a even bigger amount of growth. And it's going to be fun. We were able to play against Canton Glen Oak in a game situation for a half, and you get used to the substitution patterns and the officiating and all those things that you don't see in practice every
Right.
day. So it's kind of the dress rehearsal, and now we're ready to go.
And of course, as we touched on that defense and how the offense, obviously, it might take a little bit, I'm sure, for them to get fully clicking with the new quarterback and all that stuff. How important is that defense? How experienced they are they can keep you maybe in some games if your offense isn't right there right away. How important is that going to be in the early going until that offense fully sinks in?
Yeah, so we talk all the time about playing complementary football, and it's all three phases of the game. And we don't like to punt, but if we have to punt, we need to flip the field, so it gives our defense a cushion and just statistically a better chance of getting the offense stopped. And vice versa, our defense, if they can force some 3 and outs, and we can win that field position battle, and we have some explosive guys on offense, and getting the ball back and minimizing the opponent's offensive drives to get the ball in our guys' hands. If we can do that, we have a chance.
Right, and you have a great tradition at Ursuline with really good running backs. Christian Lynch graduated, DeMarcus McElroy, and so on in the past. And you have a couple of difference makers, not just one this year in the backfield. So how's that going to look if you're shaking out your backfield with DC?
Yeah, so the last time that we were this deep at running back was probably 2020, where we played 3 guys, but then it was D-Mac for got the lion's share of our carries, and then Christian for the past couple years. And this year we feel like we have 4, and all 4 of those guys are in the mix on defense, and either starting or playing a lot. But the 4 guys, we have 2 seniors, John Frangos and Joe Baylog. Joe is the guy with the most returning production out of that position, and he didn't have a ton of carries last year, but when he did, he was effective for us.
Like
and
that Villa game when he started.
In the St. Joe's game when Christian was dinged up, he came in and had over 100 yards, and had a really, really good football game. And that was kind of his coming out party. And so he's the most experienced guy back there. I mentioned John Frangos, who starts for us on defense. Kevin Boudre starts for us on defense, and then Vinny Fecco. Vinny plays as much as a starter. He might not technically start, but at some point I'm sure he will. And but you'll see him a lot on both sides of the ball, and he's only a sophomore. So Kevin's a junior. The other 2 guys are seniors. So at some point in time, maybe not in every single game, but all 4 of those guys are going to get carries this year, right. And they all have complementary running styles, which is nice, and they all have strengths and weaknesses, and we want to take advantage of the strengths.
Right. And as always, 1-0 every week in the tough schedule throughout the season. And last year you opened up against a very good Steubenville team who's hard to beat in week 1. Now you have another team in Walsh who's hard to beat in week 1, and they return a lot of very experienced players on both sides of the ball.
Right.
So how is that going to look going week 1 and the test you guys having against a very good team?
Yeah, so I think if you look at last year, the success we had week 1 really catapulted us, from a confidence standpoint and all those things. I mean, Steubenville was a really, really good football team, and our defense stepped up, played a really good game that night. Offense was explosive. Special teams were a big key to it as well. And that's what we need on Thursday. We need to be complementary, all 3 phases, working in unison. And, our defense has more experience than our offense. So I would hope that our defense can force some 3 and outs and force them to punt and, maybe get them to play left-handed a little bit. They've been a very, very efficient offensive football team. Last year they scored 40 points, over 40 points 9 times out of 14 games, which is incredible. They scored 30 points another 3 times. So when you're talking about 12 games over 30 points, I mean, that is a very, very efficient offensive football team. So, I think our kids are up to the challenge, but, it's one of those things we need to minimize and force them to work for everything they get, not to give them anything cheap and all those things.
Right, of course, end goal every year is obviously to win state, and You have a lot of people that you're able to do it and a lot of good talent. So what's it going to take from this team to get to that 16-0 point or the 16 game mark?
Well, that's always our goal, and I think that this game is a great opener because there's a lot of excitement and buzz around their program. They have a lot of returners, and I know that they're talking about the same things we're talking about to be playing Week 16. And in order to do that, first of all, the health of your football team is critical, and you need to stay healthy and the right guys to stay healthy. You need to take care of the football. You need to play good defense. You need to be efficient on offense. And, those are things that we did really well a year ago outside of one football game. And, so just those things and just understanding, why we won the games we won last year and why we lost the game that we lost last year.
Right. And lastly, we see a lot of new players coming in, and like DC was one of those, Luke Kohler was one of those, Marquez last year was. And do we have any new players that you're expecting to see some good varsity minutes out of and some impact from?
Well, we'll see how the season plays out as far as that goes.
Right. Okay. Thanks for the time, Coach Reardon. We'll see you on Thursday.
Appreciate it.
This has been Coach Reardon for Ursuline. 2024 season kicks off against Walsh Jesuit Thursday night at 7 p.m. from Stanbaugh Stadium, and we'll hope to see you guys then. Welcome in, Irish Nation, to YSN Live. Tim Corso here with Bryce Crawford, starting offensive tackle on the Ursuline Irish offensive line ahead of the 2024 season. A lot of the expectations for this group, and Bryce, thanks for joining me. So you're coming back as one of the two starters that returned on the offensive line, and that's supposed to be another strong point of this Ursuline team this year. How has that offensive line been coming up as well as you, and how are you looking forward to this season?
I'm ready for the season. Very excited. We got a lot of guys repping in, trying to fight for varsity spots.
And so, the offense coming back this year, a lot of skill coming back, and it's going to make your guys' job a lot easier, as complementary football tends to be. If everyone does their job, it ends up helping everyone out. And how nice is it having that skill around you to maybe, okay, if you guys have a bad play that they can pick you up, or vice versa, if they have a bad play, you can pick them up. How nice is that?
It's nice because sometimes, like, when they make a big play and, like, we kind of slack, it picks up it, and it just, like, kind of covers it up a little until we get to film and we get yelled at.
Right.
But they're like big plays cover up our little mistakes.
Right, exactly. And you've been in this program for a while now, and you're starting the last couple of years. So how's that journey been from freshman year all the way to now, to kind of earning that spot, JV to varsity, and now being one of the more established players on this team?
It's been good, man. It's like I was always behind like all-state players like Isaac and Brian. Like never really got the chance to show myself and prove myself into the varsity team, and then I got thrown in my junior year, 14-game starter. It just really helped me grow and become the best player I could be.
Right, and now on the offensive side of the ball, you're playing that really good defense every single day in practice, and I'm sure that the phrase iron sharpens iron, and that's certainly applicable to the situation you guys have, because how is it going up against that defensive line and that defense every single day in practice?
Yeah, it really pushes me. It's hard. They're good, man.
Yeah, and so on the defensive side, a couple of your teammates, who do you think is going to make a huge impact on the defense that we got to look out for?
Definitely John Ferengos. AJ Schneider, Izzy Davis is pretty good, and Drake, Joe, Tyran, our corners, Jaquez, all of them.
So basically the whole defense you got to look out for.
Yeah.
And we saw that last year because there's a reason you have 9 starters, and we saw Luke had a pick 6 against Mooney, a number of guys having big defensive tackles. Like Ty was getting double, tripled every game, so you had other guys easily stepping in and making good plays, John, Carter, everybody. And, of course, DC, who plays pretty much everywhere. And now with the offensive side of the ball and a new quarterback, I'm sure it's a little different for the offensive line. I'm sure cadences obviously are very similar in terms of, like, the structure the coaches have put in. But with a different quarterback, obviously things are a little different for the offensive line right away. How is that kind of gelling with DC stepping in beyond the center?
It's kind of different because, like, we're more gearing, like, our plays towards him and his play style than like Jack was like more sit in the pocket and throw the ball and hand it off and run it. DC's like big playmaker. He's shifty. Like when he takes off and runs, he's good with it.
Especially with the RPOs too, you got to make sure you don't get upfield too quickly because obviously they got to get rid of the football while they're just handing it off or throwing it. But now you kind of put in the element of not only are you running with your running back or throwing like a quick slant or a little bubble, but now DC can also keep it on the RPO. And so kind of that's probably one of the more crucial things on offense because you don't want to get a penalty of that nature. How is blocking for those RPOs? How is the test when you're in offensive line early in the season to kind of get that salted out?
Well, rarely there's ever like illegal man's downfield because like the RPOs are like really quick before we can even get that far going.
Right, exactly. And you got Walsh week 1. It's a really good team, of course, as are most of the teams on your schedule this year. But looking ahead to week 1, what are you guys expecting from them? And just kind of tell me what the rundown is on Walsh Jesuits, so what we're going to see on Thursday.
Expect them to be very physical, very well-coached team, very disciplined, big up front, strong, and like sound.
And so, of course, the battle of the trenches, that's where you come in and a lot of your offensive and defensive linemen come in. And they're a big team, as you said, very physical. How is that going to kind of determine the outcome of the game? Because it's obviously always a big factor, but maybe might be a little more of a factor on Thursday just because early on in the season, that can really be where the game is won when everyone's still getting settled in with all the schemes and everything.
I feel like whoever dominates up front is going to win the game, is going to keep going because it's a very tiring aspect of the game. Like, we're very well conditioned, and that's usually where we beat teams is with our conditioning on up front. Like, we'll beat them off the ball and drive them back when they're caught off guard.
Right, and the no-huddle offense seems to be a constant every year, and it gets teams off their mark, and they off sides, and they're disorganized, and they can't substitute, or they do, then they're, messed up and disoriented. And now with, down the line, you obviously want to win state. That's the end goal. And what's kind of the steps you guys need to take to get there, and any personal goals that you have yourself, because obviously the team is the focal point. Team comes first, but everyone has their own personal goals too.
Yeah, I want to be able to like make all conference or all state or something like that. But I feel like we need to be the best practice team we could be. Like really get on each other and like be there for each other when we need them, and get on each other's butts when we have to force each other and like push each other to get better.
All right, Bryce, that's going to be it for this. Thanks for talking with me, and good luck on Thursday. We'll be there and rooting for the Irish.
Thank you.
Welcome in, Irish Nation, to YSN Live. Tim Corso here with Bryce Crawford, starting offensive tackle.
It means the world to me to know that what we're doing is impacting people. And whether it's simply, I got to watch my son or daughter when I was out of town, or we just love watching YSN. We love what you do for our son or daughter. So whenever someone says thank you or someone is appreciative of what we're doing, it tells me everyone at YSN is doing what we initially set out to do, which is shine a light on these athletes and help them kind of promote themselves. My name's Anthony Hartwig, and my sports network is your sports network.
Hi, this is Zell Bush.
Hi, this is Tom Flynn. Hi, this is Steve Rossetto.
Hi, this is Ryan Miller. Hi, this is Rich Sakui from WRS Wealth Advisors.
With our combined 80 years of experience, WRS Wealth Advisors are the area's premier wealth and retirement specialists. Call 330-965-0370 to learn more about our individual and corporate financial planning services.
Or visit WRSwealth.com.
Go Raiders.
Go Dogs.
Go Cats. Go Dogs. Go Tigers.
You probably didn't hear that last bit because I was muted. We had some technical difficulties with the last player profile for Ursuline. I'm all about technical difficulties today. We are going to roll the final Ursuline Irish player profile brought to you by the Golden Dawn here on the YSN Power Hour. And it's all thanks to Tim Corso, who goes out every Tuesday night and talks to the Ursuline Irish and Coach Reardon, and hopefully some other sports file in as well. You should file in and make sure that you're supporting these local businesses that do support us on YSN certainly makes our job easier, makes our bellies more full, certainly. I mean, it just helps us in so many ways, and it helps us help these student athletes and coaches. So, without further ado, here is the final player profile today for the Ursuline Irish.
Welcome in, Ursuline fans, to this latest player profile before Week 1. D.C. Farrell, the Ursuline quarterback and defensive back, and pretty much everywhere on the field. I'm Tim Corso. Thanks for joining me once again. And DC, thanks for being on the show. We're going to be here every week from the Golden Dawn. Big shout out to Johnny Naples and all the Golden Dawn staff for making this possible. DC, you're shifting the quarterback. That's obviously a big transition from a receiver, but you played quarterback your freshman year.
Yeah.
You threw 20-plus touchdowns. You ran for a few hundred yards, threw for over 2,000. So how was stepping back into that after 2 seasons at wide receiver? And I'm sure you're excited.
Yeah, I'm very excited. Just stepping into that feel good. I got coaches that is really helping me, really getting quarterback smart again.
Right.
Really taking that big step. So.
And especially playing receiver the last couple of years, it does play to an advantage of the fact that, you know how the receivers think even more so now of doing that, especially being an all-state receiver last year. So how does that kind of help you when you're on the field, especially during your scrimmages you've had and the practices you had?
It helped me a lot. So, like, when I'm, like, throwing the ball and stuff, I'm throwing the ball where I think my wide receivers are going to be open, because there was times where last year I thought I was open and I
Right.
thought I was supposed to get the ball. So I'm really having that really connection with my wide receivers, really asking them, like, when do you feel open and stuff like that. So that's really a big thing for me.
Right, and have you talked to Jack at all to kind of get some advice from him about what he did last year and how he had such a successful season last year at quarterback?
Yeah, last year I was kind of playing quarterback too, so me and Jack was already like getting each other better. Jack really made me feel comfortable when I got back to quarterback, so he really made me make sure I was on time and make sure my feet was right, and I just took that over until this year.
Right, now you have a really skilled group of guys around you, running backs, receivers, what might be probably the best receiving room in the area, returning pretty much all of your impact receivers from last year, and you add Deshaun Will, who looks a lot like you running around out there with the quickness. So how is that going to be, for you, just to kind of, obviously it's going to be a little transition early on. How is that going to help ease you in, especially when you have all those weapons around you to make big plays?
I just, like, I played with them since I was little, so I know what they are capable of doing. So it's really just come normal. When I play with them, I play quarterback in Little League, so I kind of have that connection with them already. Really, D. Will, he a big factor. I can really give him the ball quick, make sure he get in space.
In space, yeah.
Yeah, and just let him do what he do. And then I got Devontae Taylor. He'll really go get the ball. So, like, there's times where I could just throw him a fade ball, he'll go get it. You got Tyrann. Tyrann is a big playmaker.
Right.
And then we got a couple young guys playing slot receiver. They are good playmakers too. So it's really going to be fun.
I was about to say, like, you have guys who are smaller, like Deshaun, who's really quick, Devontae, who's 6'3", you can go grab a jump ball, and guys like Tyrann and Jaquise, who are kind of both, where they can go grab a ball in the air or kind of out-quick somebody. So having all of those guys and just knowing that I can – if I need this, this, or this, I can find that in one, if not more, of my guys. How is that comforting in being a quarterback?
It's really comforting. It's like everybody got like different abilities, so it's like it's kind of like, okay, so this play I know that he's gonna be open. This play I know Devontae's gonna be open. I know Jaquise is gonna outrun him. So it's kind of really easy.
Right. And so now your play style at quarterback, because obviously every quarterback is different. Who do you kind of model your game after, and kind of what would you describe your game as a quarterback?
I really like. You mean like a person I look up to?
Yeah, NFL player you model your game after, something you look up to.
I say like Lamar Jackson.
Okay.
He really, so like if he get pressure, he really gets around, make sure that he keeps the play alive. So
right.
I feel like I'm that type of quarterback.
When things break down, that's when guys get open that you wouldn't expect. It's the routes, so you had to make your own routes.
Yeah.
And so with your running back room on the last part of the offense, the offensive line, those are two obviously big factors, especially when you're running and throwing the ball. And you have 2 starters back in that offensive line. You got a bunch of running backs returning, including Joe Balog, who kind of came on down the stretch last year.
Yeah.
So to keep defenses honest, obviously you got to pass and run the ball. Having a really good offensive line who can block for your passing and running, how is that, especially with your running back room that's so deep?
It really takes a lot of pressure off me. like having a good running back, and me, I can run the ball as well. So it's like when I hand the ball off, it's like it stuns the defense sometimes. They don't know if I have the ball. They can help my running back a lot.
Right.
And then with my line, I got a great line actually. They really they make sure they tell me that where I have to run and stuff. So
Right.
they'll tell me like, oh, this is gonna be open, so make sure you hit this and then do whatever you got to do. You know. So it's like we just all have that connection. It's just
Right. And so on defense, you're playing defensive back again this year in the safety area, all in the secondary. So from a defender's eyes now, because you are a quarterback, and it's gonna, obviously as a receiver and D-back, you obviously knew okay what to look for in a receiver. But now, playing defensive back make it a little easier now that you're playing quarterback and you're seeing through the eyes of a quarterback at the defensive back spot.
yeah. It makes it a lot easier. Like so they're in the coverage and stuff, so I actually know. Um, I know how fast the linebackers are gonna get out to number one receivers.
Right.
So it really gets my timing right. So like me knowing what the DB does, it gets me like really locked into what I'm doing.
Right. And so obviously from freshman year to now, and being a senior versus a freshman is obviously very different, and playing receiver, quarterback, a couple of years each. So how has that journey been, just going from your first year of high school football all the way to now, and kind of the growth you've seen in yourself and all different kind of your teammates too?
It feels good. It's actually um like my like me playing wide receiver. It's like I know what I'm capable of doing. So it's like when I was younger, I was kind of like nervous, and I was kind of nervous to do this and nervous doing that.
Right.
And I really didn't know what I was doing. So now being more like confident in what I'm doing, I feel good.
And now you were a kick returner, punt returner last year. Are we going to see you there more or less, or what are we thinking of? Because obviously quarterback takes a big load at the hits.
Yeah, you might see me less at kick returner.
Right.
I'm gonna do a lot of punt returning.
Right. Especially
so.
with the dynamic players you have around
Yeah.
you. You don't need to be doing that as much
Right.
with the amount of skill you
Yeah.
guys have.
Yeah.
And of course the goal is to win state every year, and that's
Right.
and you were close the last couple of years, and that's the goal this year. What is this team? I'm sure this team has what it takes. What's going to make this team different from any other team in Division III in the state of Ohio?
It's gonna be different because we got a lot of returning players that gives a big impact on the team. We got a lot of players that are D1, that are really confident in what they're doing. So it's like we got that energy this year. Last year we didn't really have that energy. I feel like this year we got a lot of energy. And then our young guys is really stepping up. So it's gonna be a good year for us.
And week one, Walsh, because you obviously want to know every week, and that's coach talk, but
Yeah.
it's the truth, because you can't worry about week 3 if you don't win week 1 or 2. And you got Walsh, a really good team, consistently consistently playing for Division II state titles. So how is that week 1? Obviously, it'll be a big, as I say, punch in the mouth, because you're facing a really good team right away.
I'm really happy that we're having a team good like that early. It really makes us like, all right, we got to step up. We got to make sure that we're doing this right. We got to make sure that we're being consistent at practice, and us playing them is getting us ready for the season to play other good teams.
And lastly, can you give me a little rundown on what we should expect from Walsh Jesuit and you guys come Thursday, just less than 48 hours away?
It's gonna be a great game. They might score a lot. We're gonna score a lot. It's gonna be a good defensive game also. So it's really gonna be a really interesting game to watch.
Well, we're all excited to go watch on Thursday. A little different. Every Ursuline game starts on Thursday the last few years, which kind of gets a little more attention because there's not many games on Thursdays.
Right.
And it's always an exciting atmosphere. Standball, even though it's pretty big compared to other high school stadiums, it's a college one. It still fills up pretty good for Ursuline.
Yeah.
And how is knowing that support that you got from all those fans gonna kind of a little extra home field advantage?
It feels good. It's really like we got it's a big tradition at Ursuline.
Right.
And then especially on Thursdays, a couple other teams come and watch, so it's really gonna be packed. So we know that it's gonna be really hyped at this game. Walsh comes with a big crowd also.
They
so,
travel well.
Yeah, they travel crazy, and then so we know that they're gonna come with a big crowd. So it's gonna be a really good game.
Thanks, DC, for joining me. I've been Tim Corso here with DC Farrell from the Golden Dawn. Thanks again to Johnny Naples and the Golden Dawn for supporting us. And we'll be here every Tuesday at 7 p.m. for you Irish fans on YSN Live.
What a great job by Tim Corso. His first crack at that, man, did he do? I mean, he knocked it out of the park. Great job by the players as well. And of course, I mean, Dan Reardon, hard to beat. Both on the field and on the microphone, Dan Reardon is hard to beat because you can just tee it up for him, and he is smooth as silk, like Scotty Scheffler, drives it right down the fairway. And an incredible job. And we're really looking forward to seeing this game tonight, as well as 5 other ones here on the network in the football realm. We are looking forward to just a lot of action here on the network. You're not going to get the smile off of this face. I hope you are equally as excited. There's so much, that goes into this season behind the scenes. And at some point, you just got to stop worrying about it and realize it's football season. You're shooting football. You're talking about football. You're talking about volleyball. You're talking about soccer. You're talking about golf. You're talking about the whole gamut. We're not just talking about one game. We are talking about 32 games on this network starting tonight, football-wise. You're not going to get that anywhere else in the country except for maybe if you're basically watching Recess. Just the live stream of it. No commentators, no flavor, no salt, no pepper, no nothing. You're just watching Recess, essentially. Not here on YSN. We bring a little bit of the flavor to it. We give a little bit of that zest, that quality, make you laugh, make you shake your head, I'm sure. But these guys are trying. These guys are out there. They're doing a service to the community. Yes, they're getting a couple dollars here and there. Yes, they got some sweet gear on sale, Stream City. But I'll tell you what, they do it because it's in their heart. It's what they want to do. They don't expect to be announcing the Super Bowl or the Masters or whatever it may be. They want to do this because they love their communities they represent. And I'm telling you, and if you are a viewer of this show, you know that I've said this a couple of times. I am so excited for this year because this might be the best group of announcers, excitable young men and women that we have ever had. Starting at the ripe old age of 14 and going into the 70s, ladies and gentlemen. We are your sports network. We care more. Simply put, we care more. We are there not for one play. We are there for all of them. Thank you for being a supporter. Let's get to what you're supporting here tonight. I feel like I got my stuff together. It is August 22nd. It is Football Thursday. Almost said Friday. Football-wise, pardon me. We have, again, Crestview at Western Reserve. We have Welsh Jesuit at Ursuline, as you heard with Tim Corso. We have Niles and Howland. Warren JFK and Liberty. Excuse me. Conneaut and Grand Valley. We have Jackson, Milton, and Matthews. Girls soccer, we got it. They don't. Owen Klein, he has East Liverpool and Beaver Local. The game here on YSN. We have it. They don't. Boys soccer, Rob Johnson has Green at Louisville. We have it. They don't want it. We also have NDCL at Orange and Salem at Poland. So if you're looking for something to do in that part, but wait, there's more. I've always wanted to say that. We're not selling anything. It's free. Go to ysnlive.com/live. Anthony Hartwig, the Dean of Girls Sports, as you will soon find out, has Austintown Fitch at Lakeview. We've got Hoban is in action as well. And we have Cardinal Mooney and Chady in action. Eric Hughes has that cover. Ty Bartell has the Hoban game, or the Hoban match, I should say. And that is your complete rundown for YSN tonight. Again, if you have any questions at all, you need to head on over ysnlive.com/live. A complete listing. I was so close. I'm going to get this cough beat. If there's any doctors out there and you understand what is wrong with me, first off, that's incredible for the stream. It's like telehealth stuff. But secondly, we're going to get this fixed. We have to. It's football season. I can't be hacking up along calling for the Raiders games for tonight, the Blue Jays game. The Blue Jays. All of it. ysnlive.com/live. It's your one-stop shop for everything. Click early, click often. Obviously, these games, I have to say this, they are subject to change time-wise, technical difficulty-wise. We're hoping, come on, baby, come on. One time, no technical difficulties. Make Brian Scott's job real easy. Make it real easy. Let's have some fun tonight. Let's get out there. Let's get excited. Let's support these student athletes more than ever before. They need it, folks. They need your support. You can take your phone with you, your device, and watch YSN from the stands. Nobody's going to judge you. In fact, they're probably going to do it themselves. So make sure that you are clicking the links. Make sure you're not paying for anything. Don't pay for anything. If it asks you to pay for something, don't do it. You're being, what do they call it? You're being fished, whatever that is. We don't have any control over some of the advertising on our site. It's just, it pushes out. They're clever. Don't pay for anything tonight. It's all free for you, and it's all on ysnlive.com/live. Let's get to the Joe Dickey Electric What's Your Spark, presented by our friends over at Joe Dickey Electric. They are everything electrical. Visit them today, DickeyElectric.com. This spark, incredibly easy, and it is football. Also, tomorrow, you know what returns. It is the YSN Live Power Hour Super Show. We will have a guest picker every single week. Could it be you? Could it be your neighbor? Could it be your teacher? Could it be your coach? Could it be a professional athlete? Could it be someone here on YSN? Could it be a long lost voice? Could it be a mascot? Could it be? It could be anybody. And we're going to bring them here. Guest pickers arriving this year. That is the new YSN Power Hour Super Show, all brought to you by our friends at Toyota of Warren. What a great show. Thank you to Tim Corso for those great interviews. We will have them published shortly on ysnlive.com. You'll be able to share them, comment on them, click on them, support them, do all that stuff that you guys do on a regular basis. Super, super excited. And I'm grateful to be doing this for a living. And it's all because of you. You make it all possible. I hope you have fun. I hope you have as much fun as we do, as I do. It's a pleasure, and it's an absolute honor and a blessing to be able to every day talk to you about local sports and show you what is available, what is readily coming here and gone, athletically talent-wise and academically talent-wise, in our beautiful, lovely region. So excited. And we just keep on growing. Maybe there's an announcement coming. Maybe it's been coming for a while. Maybe we're still waiting on a contract. Maybe it's an exciting one. Maybe we'll add another team mid-season, just like the old days, right? Year 1, 4 to 8 to 30. We'll find out. But for now, that is going to do it. Oh, we got a comment here. Let's get Bernie here real quick. See if I can read it without my glasses. I'm thankful for you, what you guys are doing. You know, my sister is in Detroit. This is awesome. Bernie, brother, it's my pleasure. My absolute pleasure. And certainly we appreciate your support and everybody's support out there here for YSN. We know, listen, we get it. We're not always going to hit the nail on the head. We're not always going to be spot on, but I can tell you the effort is always going to be there. I can tell you that the guys that we have in leadership, they mean well, and we're pushing and we're trending and we are rowing all in the same direction, and we're doing it for just a few reasons. And one of them is you. And to be quite honest and transparent, The other is because there aren't too many sports jobs out there anymore. And the ones that are, you either have to have a ton of experience or no experience at all. There's nowhere in the middle, right? Well, we're not looking to stay in the middle. We're looking for the gold medal. And last year, 12.4 million views. This year, we have ambitions for 15 or more, and we need you to do it. Support Big Dogs of the Valley. Vote early, vote often. Support these teams' games, these streams that we have, these shows that we have. Support our sponsors like Toyota of Warren. Make sure they know that you love YSN, because it's those recommendations and referrals that just keep on pushing. And what else can we do? What else can we do? How can we help get more sports on streaming, on YSN? And I promise you, we are pushing the envelope in every corner of the table. And we are going to continue to do it. And it's all for you. It's all to make sure you have sports, you have a break from the monotonous, sometimes very troubling world that we live in. And you can support your neighbor. You can support your cousin. You can support your niece, your nephew, your grandson, your granddaughter. And guess what? Sometimes you got to hit one for Papa. You got to drive one for Papa. Sometimes you got to score that touchdown for Grammy, right? That's why we're here. There's an excitement in the air. There's a chill in the air. So make sure you go over to Storm Tracker 21 and make sure you are ready for whatever holds tonight, tomorrow, and Saturday. But what I can tell you is we are ready. It is here. We have arrived. Ladies and gentlemen, I am so amped up and honored to be able to bring this game to you tonight. There's 6 football games. You've got soccer games. You've got volleyball games. And it's all under one umbrella right here on YSN. God bless you. Watch tonight. Get out there and support a student athlete wherever you are. Even if you don't have or they don't have YSN, go out and support your local community, your local school, and make sure you're cheering loud, you're cheering proud, but make sure you're tuned into YSN while you're doing it. We love you. We'll see you next time right here on the Ysn Power Hour Super Show, brought to you by Toyota of Warren.
YSN thanks you for watching this presentation of Your Sports Network.